Well, hey there, business mathematics students. Mr. Doucette. This is week 4 of our class here at Norco College, fall 2022. And just wanted to let you know we're halfway through the course starting this week, or actually at the end of this week. So you're almost to the halfway point. Keep up the good work. I just wanted to go over a few things with you about your work last week, as well as some very important things to talk about for week number 4. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And of course, we are in module number 2. We are ending module number 2 this week, which also ends with a exam. So make sure you don't miss that exam. There'll be no, I don't think there's a quiz. Actually, there is a quiz for chapters 10 and 11. The only reason I give you a quiz is I want you to have a chance to work out the problems. You have three attempts to do well on the quiz. But anyway, looking back first, before we get into week number 4, let me go back to week number 3. And these are a little bit more of the challenging 2 weeks. So chapters 8, 9, 10, and 11 are the ones where most students struggle the most. If you get through these 2 weeks, you'll probably breeze through the rest of the class a lot easier because things do start changing a bit. But this week that you just finished, and then this week coming up, chapters 10 and 11, and then I think it's chapters 12 and 14. That's kind of the heart of the class and where most students struggle the most, but it gets a little easier next week after this week, so 12 and 14, and then it gets a little bit better in 16 and 17 when you start dealing with inventory. But all of these weeks are kind of similar, so chapters 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 are all very similar. You're using tables, you're using charts, you're trying to figure out, percentages, etc. So I'm gonna be talking about chapters 10 and 11 in a minute, but backing up to chapters 8 and 9. Chapter 8 is, the only reason it's challenging is because there's 2 different ways to figure out your markup or markdown. It's either going to be based off of cost, which is also called cost plus 1, or it's going to be based off of selling price. And in my video, I talk about the difference between those 2. And if it's based off of selling price, then it's going to be 1 minus the rate in your formula, and you're using a different formula, using the selling price formula versus the markup amount formula. So anyway, make sure you know the difference. That's where you're going to struggle the most on chapters 8 and 9. These will be on the midterm exam, so make sure you understand how to work them out. But anyway, you had those 2 chapters, and you also started your case study number 2 on the bride, the groom, and the tax man. And this is basically taking somebody. This is why you need to know the percentage method, chapter 9. It's important that you understand how to use the tables. A lot of you, I noticed, were skipping those questions in your quizzes, or you didn't know how to finish working that out. So make sure you watch my video on study page chapter 9 on how to work out the percentage method. That's where you're going to learn how to solve the case study that's here. But basically, this is taking a guy who wasn't married, and what his tax situation was to now being married with some stepkids, what his new tax situation is. And the only way you're going to be able to figure that is to know how to do the percentage method, which the video is found, again, on study page chapter 9 right here. If you select that box, inside there is a video that says me working out the percentage method. So make sure you watch that. But as we move into this week, we're getting into probably the 2 more challenging chapters for most students, and I don't know why. Sometimes they end up being the more simple chapters, but nonetheless, you're going to be working out chapter 10, which is on simple interest. So there's a formula for working out simple interest that's very much like what we've been using already. And then you're going to be using tables for compound interest. And so I'll be explaining the difference of both this Tuesday when we have our next Zoom session. So don't miss Tuesday. I don't think I'm going to be going into a lot of, I'm not going to be working through the homework assignment. I'll keep the video that's there now from last semester. I'm just going to be talking about the different kinds of interest and how to work them out, because most students get them all confused, and that's where they run into the big problem, especially when I'm putting quizzes together that have questions about simple interest, questions about compound interest, questions about present value, and all that. My videos explain all that, but I want to show you the difference. So this Tuesday, I'm going to be explaining the 3 different kinds of figuring out interest, and I'll give you the identifying points for which you can know what kind of problem I'm solving, and that'll make it a lot easier for you, hopefully. So looking at your schedule here, you have Of course, we're going into week 4, so you are watching the video. It's not here now, but it'll be listed right here. You must watch the video, or at least mark as done, or at least view that page, the video. And then there's a read me first. So for week 4, make sure you read that first and you understand what kind of problems you're going to be working out. I do a lot of explaining in that page as to how to work out some of the problems. There's also a help Sienna, so I put it in the context of Sienna's business. So make sure you read those. You have to mark them both as done before you can move on. So make sure you mark them both as done at the bottom of the page. If you do the read me first and you scroll to the bottom there, it's not going to show up unless you're in the student view. So let me select student view. And then if you go to the bottom here, it has mark as done right here. You can't see it. It's behind my picture. So let me scroll it. You can't see it. My picture's in the way. But right behind my picture, it says mark as done. And you just need to select that in order to move on. I'm sure you've already figured that out. So that's the first thing. Make sure you do the read me first and the meet Sienna. And then this week, we're going to be looking at, again, chapter 10 on simple interest and chapter 11 on compound interest. So make sure you review the sections that I'm recommending that you do. You don't have to do them all. So in chapter 10, you're going to be doing all of them. Chapter 10, 1 through, or section 10, 1 through 10, 11. Those are all important for you to know. And then in chapter 11, you're going to be doing most all of those, but not all of them. So you're going to be doing a little bit on compound interest and a little bit on present value. And again, I have videos here already that I've working out those problems, working through I'm actually working through each of these sections here in the book on the video, showing you how to do it. So make sure you watch those. But again, on Tuesday, we're going to have our next Zoom session. So Tuesday, that date is, it's right. I'm a whole week ahead here, right here. Tuesday, November 8th at 9 a.m. So 9 a.m., not 10 a.m., 9 a.m. I'm going to be doing the video and doing the Zoom session. I'll be explaining the different kinds of working out interest. So again, simple interest, compound interest, present value. Those are the 3 things I'll be covering, and a little bit on promissory notes. And that's going to be this Tuesday. So don't miss that. But again, you have your 2 study pages for chapter 10 and 11. And then once you've done all of those and marked them all as done, then there is a formula sheet in here. There is some tips for solving word problems. You're going to do the check-in assignment. Again, if you do it by Thursday, I'll give you feedback by Friday, Saturday. And that way you know where you went wrong. I'll also give you the answers. Very important, though. Don't skip any questions. If you skip questions, I'm not going to give you credit starting this week. Every week, one or a few of you didn't answer all the questions. I gave you grace up to this point, but I want you to at least give it your best shot. Even if you completely botch it, that's okay. I'll give you the answers. I'll show you how to do it, but at least try. So by Thursday, the 10th of November, make sure you turn in your check-in assignment if you want my feedback. If you don't want my feedback, you can just wait till Sunday and do the best you can. But if you want my feedback, please submit it by Thursday. I'll make sure I have answers by Friday, Saturday. Then you have your quiz on chapters 10 and 11. And then you have your first midterm exam in addition to completing your case study. So I'm going to slide that down here. And you're going to go ahead and complete your case study. I'm going to go ahead and change that. And I'm going to change it to complete case study. So, and I'm also going to move the date to the 13th. So, and that's when it closes. So, all right. So that's pretty much it for this week, everybody. I hope you have a great week, and looking forward to seeing many of you